USAC 1978, probably best remembered for being the last season of IndyCar Champ Car racing before the first IndyCar split in the United States. But 1978, a season which should be remembered for so much more, but absolutely ending an era on a high. USAC held 18 races in 78, which was up from the 13 or 14 that the series held usually, and wasn't a number of races that any IndyCar series would beat until CART in 1998. And in that lengthened calendar, USAC was innovative. You of course had the pillars being Indianapolis, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Michigan, Pocono, but then you had something new. For the first time in many years, the series went to road circuits in Canada with Mosport, and also went overseas in Europe and raced at Brands Hatch and Silverstone, just to show the European fans how powerful and impressive these turbocharged beasts were. And beasts they were. The cars were 900 horsepower turbocharged missiles, and although the series tried to limit boost for 1978 to restrict speeds, Tom Sneva hit a record 203 mile an hour average, qualifying for the Indianapolis 500. The list of chassis and engine manufacturers would even make any Formula One fan jealous, with Lola, Penske, Wildcat, McLaren, Eagle, and Coyote, amongst others, all producing chassis for the season. The Cosworth DFX was the dominant engine of the season, and with it, Al Unser went on to win the Triple Crown, winning at Indianapolis, Pocono, and Ontario, all three 500-mile races. And along with Unser, a literal listing from a Hall of Fame sheet of open-wheel racing drivers, with folks like Gordon Johncock, Johnny Rutherford, AJ Foyt, Wally Dallenbach, Danny Ungaius, Pancho Carter, Bobby Unser, an occasional Mario Andretti, and of course rookie Rick Mears. But at the end of the season, it was the gas man himself, Tom Sneva, who came away with the championship after not winning a single race. His consistency with Team Penske was unbelievable, finishing on the podium 10 out of the 18 races. And you have to imagine if he pushed a little bit harder in some of those, maybe he could have won, but he was going for the championship the whole time, and racing consistently in these days is what did it. So the 1978 USAC Champ Car season was absolutely a high point for IndyCar racing, although it gets lost in history because of the split. But luckily, the International Sim Racing organization has put together a great mod in Automobilista 1 to help experience this. Now, this is part of a series of mods they put together for their league over the years. I took a look also at their CART 1988 mod, but they've also done a 1974 as well, amongst other Formula One and sports car mods, all for their league. The league itself is ongoing right now. I think they're just about to race Indianapolis, actually, but they've been producing all the cars and, of course, the tracks themselves to race these on. And so I thought it'd be fun to take this out and experience a little bit what these turbocharged Indy cars were like. So I thought, where better to take these cars than to a circuit which really fits the time period, a track that was demolished just a couple years later, known as the Kidney Bean, Trenton Speedway. If you don't know why it's called that, you'll find out in just a second. I'm going to do 20 laps here, starting from the back, driving Wally Dallenbach Sr.'s McLaren Cosworth DFX. Alright, so rolling into turns 3 and 4 here at Trenton. Full field of IndyCars in front. I think we've got 27 total in the race, so bound to be some fireworks at the start. Hopefully everybody gets away cleanly. It seems to be 50-50 with the starts here. We'll put it in second. Might lay back a little bit off the line. 20 laps, not a lot of time to pass cars. We'll see how far up the field I can get, though. Past all the campers and everything towards the inside. Green is out. Here we go. And a kick of the power. We'll come down to the first corner, keep it in third here for the first lap. Just let everybody jump to the inside. Well, it seems like everybody might make it through here. A couple cars out wide in front. All right, we'll come out of the corner, maybe side by side. Grab the outside, and here we go through the Kidney Bean, or the reason the track is called that. I nipped the grass there, though. But yeah, there's a right-hand corner on the back straightaway at Trenton. It's really the unique part of this circuit. Well, everybody's getting bottled up ahead. It's the unique part of this circuit and why it was so popular and famous back in the day. We'll sneak to the inside here, fourth gear flat out. You can see the pressure rising there on the right, the manifold pressure. The boost on these cars makes them so tricky to drive. You have almost no power when you put your foot down initially, and suddenly it kicks in. And everybody always talks about it with turbocharged cars. We'll make a couple more passes, try not to get in the grass this time. It's always talked about in turbocharged cars how difficult the throttle is on them, but yeah, it's absolutely true. And in these cars, it makes them so interesting to drive going through the corners. They dance around so much. The downforce, it obviously is there, but it's nothing like modern downforce. Coming to the corner here though, on lap 3 already, up to 22nd though, past a couple cars. I got one coming on the inside. Ooh, car gets a little loose there. Letting one by. I think I'm quicker, but a lot of this is momentum since the cars don't instantly accelerate. If you've got the boost spooled up, see like this, he let out of the throttle, able to swing around the outside. Makes for some really interesting passing. Come onto the front straightaway, should be able to whip past these cars. I got a little bit better car than some of the ones out back here. Coming to the first corner. Love the look of these cars. They absolutely look like spaceships to me. Pointed like an arrow to the front. It was just 5 or 6 years really after Indy started allowing wings or full-on aerodynamic devices. They outlawed them initially in the late 60s, and teams were thinking of all kinds of inventive ways to get around not having true wings on the car. And by the early 70s, I think 73, Indy finally allowed the cars actually to have some wings, and they really took that and ran with it. By the late 70s here, we were just before the ground effects era. I think it was the next season that the chaparral appeared and changed everything. Go through the kink there. The car gets a little light. Just taking my time here trying to weave through some of these cars. I like to drive the car going through the left-hand corners like I'm just riding the right rear tire. I don't know if it'll come through in the video, but you can kind of bounce on that right rear. Just sneak up the inside a couple more of these cars. Easy passing. Right on my rear end. Kick it a little bit there. Just to make sure the rear tires don't kick out at all. It's so easy to spin if the car gets sideways. Come through the corner, got a red car right behind me. I come out of turn 4, get a nice run then. Front straightaway seems to be treating me well. The first corner is such a lazy entrance at Trenton. Long left-hander. Keep it in 4th. I was thinking about going down to 3rd. I'm trying to be really aggressive with it, but I re-geared the car a little bit just to top out in 4th slightly earlier. Give it a little extra drive there out of 2. Got a little loose on the entry. To drive these cars though, they remind me a lot of a NASCAR to drive, but you're going a lot faster, especially within the period. But even for NASCARs these days, these accelerate a lot quicker than those would. Well, everybody getting bottled up here into the corner. There might be a coyote up there. The different car chassis absolutely drive differently as well, and engines too. Haven't experimented much. Ooh, we got a car sneaking to the inside through the kidney. Dips out of it, the number 11 there. Got another run now. Down on boost, come out of the corner, car in front. That might be Sneva actually, or maybe Rutherford. Maybe not neither of them. Come to the inside here. Just see the red car in front. Yeah, it'd be AJ Foyt there in the 14. Coyote built all his own stuff for 78. Coyote chassis, Coyote V8 engine. Did it the old Texas way, I guess. But absolutely a blast to drive. Such a different experience than any kind of cars drive these days. But with the, like I was saying, the different chassis and things, they all drive quite a bit differently. Some are a lot better on the high-speed ovals versus the short ovals. The ISO group that made this mod has also released a nice Phoenix, a as well as Trenton here that we're racing on, and Indianapolis, of course, Ontario as well. So there's a good number of circuits now, and by the time they get to the end of the season, just racing on all the different types of tracks that were raced on in the 78 season will be quite impressive. Come around the outside, though, got a nice run there. Car got out of it. So we're just over halfway now, up to 13th. So things are looking pretty good. Cars in front will start getting a little more racy. You can tell Foyt here is not quite as slow as the cars at the back, but I should be able to get around him. Oh, not such a good line, though, through 2. Car skated out wide a little bit. I'm trying to avoid the inside there through the kidney bean, too. If you're noticing, I'm not quite apexing. It's an awful bump coming out of the corner that just upsets the rear of the car so easily. Hard to catch. All right, onto the front straightaway, though, and AJ Foyt's draft slinks down the inside. As long as he gives me the space, we should be all right here. There we go. It's got the double front wing on. Not sure if that would be accurate for this track. The mod itself does contain race-by-race accurate variants of all the cars. They're a little difficult to select, though. I was talking to one of the mod creators. I think Automobilista specifically is a little tricky with creating the different lists of cars. Ooh, I kicked the car out a little bit there. Foyt's looking on me, but I got a nice run on the front straightaway now. So a little tricky to make sure you select the right cars for the right track if you're racing offline, but it's really meant to be an online mod. And I said it at the very beginning, but should mention this is absolutely a work in progress. They're releasing so many patches and updates for it. Seems like every week a couple new things are coming out. So one of those things, it's already this good. I can't wait to see what it's all like when it's done. Oh, I got a car right on me there. Hopefully all the tracks race as nicely as this one. I could imagine, doing some actual seasons and things in this. Ugh, kick the car sideways there coming into turn 1. I run a little out wide. I didn't really have cars to check my braking that time. Need to actually drive the track appropriately. You can see the leaders way off in the distance there. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch them in this race. Try to keep in the throttle a little bit more. 3/4 throttle just to keep that turbo spooled. Gaining on the car in front just a little bit. A little out wide coming through 2. It's difficult to get the car planted. There we go. Oh, I almost got a little loose there. Very odd to set your car up for Trenton, and I think that's the whole point to it. It's because you have the 2 left-hand corners like a normal oval, so obviously you're going to go with an asymmetrical setup to help the car turn left, but then the kidney bean's not a corner to not set up the car for, or not think about it. Significant enough. Car blocked me coming into turn 1 here. This right-hander here is significant enough that you can't just totally ignore it, but you obviously would optimize your car for these corners, so it's very uncomfortable going through that right-hander. Dancing the car a little bit. Coming out of 4 here, nice run down the front straightaway again. Dive it up the inside. Just try to keep on the bottom side of the track so it doesn't sneak back under me. See if I can put a couple laps in here towards the end and catch the group in front without spinning myself out. I'll tell you, I did a lot of practice just to get the car around the circuit. It might look quite mundane from a video oftentimes, especially on the ovals. It doesn't look as difficult as it actually is, but these cars are an absolute handful in a good way. If you want something to appreciate what these guys did back in the day, I feel like this mod definitely captures that. Just kind of bounce off the top of the throttle, trying to see if the turbo's going to kick in suddenly and spin the car out. this track went away. It held a lot of different types of racing, everything from IndyCar here, obviously, to NASCAR, modified races. It was quite the track, and it was only in this configuration for the last 10 or so years of its existence. I think in the late 60s, they put the kidney shape in and paved it and made it this larger oval. It was a dirt track before that, but I think these days it's just a UPS shipping facility, so nothing too interesting. All right, we'll come get the white flag. One more lap. And I am catching the car in front, but the last few laps here, I guess, are just going to be quite alone because I'm not going to catch him in time. Try to get the throttle down, though. Run it right to the wall there on the outside. Get it to the left end of the track. Ooh, tip it in. Oh, my God. Oh, I thought it was all going away then. We'll come through turns 3 and 4. So holding on to it for 20 laps. No small feat. Looks like the car in front might pit, actually. So we're coming to the line. There we go. One more spot, maybe. Checker flag, though. So not my most competitive race, but something fun to show off the USAC 78 mod. IndyCar, especially historic IndyCar, does not have enough mods and games and things about it, so I'm very happy to see something done as well as this. And to get the AI to behave this great on an oval is also awesome. So a lot of fun to be had here. We've had a lot of fun also racing with Phoenix, and so excited to try out some of the other tracks that the group is making. But big shout out to the International Sim Racing organization and all the historic mods and things they do. If you like historic racing and Automobilista and want to join a league, especially to do some open wheel or IndyCar stuff like this, check out, I'll put the link in the description of the video for their stuff, but check out their forum and everything. But big shout out to Richard Wilkes, who did the physics for these cars. They feel great. The turbo is awesome. It's very challenging to drive. Obviously it would be great in a league setting, but even racing the AI, I have a lot of fun just controlling my own car and trying to avoid everybody else. So great job with the physics. David Saber and Jason White, who've made the 3D models, and then all the other folks that I know work on the tracks and balancing everything and making it as fun as it is. So great job with this mod. I'm excited to see it continue to develop, and even more eager for the rest of the stuff to come out. So let me know if you enjoyed this. I'm interested in maybe trying out some other tracks and cars as well, maybe make a couple videos there. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again next time.